I wonder how much of it is actually an act.
How much was actually an act? Like he won, shaved my beard. It was great fun, and everybody was like, "What? This can't be."
Yo, I saw you, and I'm like, I honestly not even.
No one knew me without the beard.
Hey guys, it's Ethan, and this is What's New With You, episode 5. I'm here, joined by the legendary Gabe. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I just want to give a little preface to this episode. Ethan had hit me up like maybe about a month ago, and he was like, "Yo, can you be the guest on my podcast?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, no matter what." And then he was like, "Ah, yeah, cool. Just we'll do it online." And I was like, "No, you ain't online in me, bro. Like I saw your entire roster. I'm like your one Puerto Rican friend. Like, nah. I seen all the Filipinos got the in-house treatment. I gotta get the in-house treatment."
Wait, DJ was the only Filipino that I've had.
Whatever.
Everyone else was like other type of Asian.
Oh, the great Asian connector, Ethan.
The episode before this was actually the first virtual podcast. I didn't like the way it looked. I mean, it sounds fine, right? Because it's just, but the visuals was just kind of weird. So
you try to make me his test dummy. Look at that. Look at another layer.
Well, I'm very gracious that you declined it because look how everything turned out.
Look at see.
We're in an amazing space. So, you know, just because this is a brand new like set that I've never used before in like any time of my content, but do you just want to give some background about like the space and like your part of it?
So right now we're at 368 NYC, which is, if you don't know, was founded by Casey Neistat and his partner Paul Lays. Casey Neistat is an infamous, famous YouTuber, the godfather of the internet when it comes to video at this point. And this was like his creative Disneyland for creators, right? To come here, if you want to shoot a movie, you can shoot a movie. You want to play games, you can play games. You want to stream, you can stream. You want to do modeling, you can do modeling. Just anything you could possibly imagine. Just take the idea of like what a creator house is, but make it more accessible to people. And it's not like, hey, you have to have like 1 million followers to come in here, like how the YouTube studio is. Where like you got to have certain benchmarks to even be invited. And it's just been that space ever since. We've been open for 2 years. I came on in November. Through someone who used to work named Colin, and I've been working with the space since November. I work as a host on a lot of our shows, and just like on-camera talent is what I do. I know how to, put on an act.
I wonder how much of it is actually an act.
How much of it is actually an act? Sometimes I wonder too. Sometimes I see
you get so into it, and it's like
because
you morph into it.
It's like there's Gabriel and then there's Gabe. There's Gabe, and Gabe Olivero is how people know, but they don't know Gabriel.
They don't know Gabe.
But just been doing that for and just working here and having fun. Yeah,
it's funny. You mentioned the whole YouTube space, so. I actually used to do some work in the YouTube space over, where is it? By not Hell's Kitchen. I forgot where.
That's the meatpacking district.
Meatpacking district, yep. And, the YouTube space was like nice and it's very corporate, feeling. And like you said, there are prerequisites. So you got to be part of their program.
Yes.
And then you got to
hit like 1,000 subscribers.
Even more.
And then they put more now?
Yeah, more. And
because there were different tiers.
Exactly. And also the fact that like, I think it was like 2017 or there was a big YouTube change and they changed the partnership program. And then that's when the person I used to work with, they lost their partnership program because of it, and then we couldn't use it. And it was, but this space is definitely, like you said, is so much more accessible. It's not like, I'm not like a big mainstream YouTuber. I just, I like creating things. And I think that's what, when you kind of compare like New York and like California, like New York is it known for its creators and like the YouTube space and stuff like that. So this is definitely a great like avenue of like where people can come together. I met so many great people here, both on the gaming side as well as the creative side. Like if you're watching, like if you just look around, like this is like, there's a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah, this is
I'm just like looking at the equipment, like I know how much this stuff costs. This is a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, downstairs we're in right now, we're inside the gaming studio. The actual size of the building, for people who haven't been here, there's about 3 floors, which is just like unheard of in New York City. It's like, the amount of space you're having right now is just ridiculous. Upstairs is our main floor, which is just like a big open modular space that can become anything what it is. If you're going like on our Instagram or YouTube or Twitter, you'll see at 368, you'll see like events that happen up there, parties. We tend to do parties up there and workshops. And then down here, because we are like New York's, I guess, Soho house of gaming. We're the gaming house. Like you have to know somebody to even come in here sometimes. So it's like down here is where we get the fragging on. We'll do some LAN events from time to time, some tournaments, and in the other side of this room, you don't even see it. And you think this is like, oh yeah, this room's pretty big. It goes even further. We have a traditional studio with like a seamless and an editor bay and like a wood room where you can get like all the plywood spray paint that you can need to make anything. We got a crazy overhead rig that's literally just plumber's pipe and plywood and like lights from Home Depot, which you would think, you look at it like, damn, this gotta be like a.
You don't need all that corporate type of equipment.
You don't.
Especially with creativity, it's like, do what makes it work.
Yeah, right? Yeah. The more jerry rigged you have to put it together, the more creative you get.
Is that kind of like inspired by Casey?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like Casey's entire aesthetic is just things that are just like hodgepodge from other things. Duct tape it. Things that are repurposed out of things that's like, like I said, that overhead rig is literally plumber's pipe and plywood. That is it. Like that's what it's made out of, and that's like the spirit of Casey and what he's always brought to the table when it comes to creativity, and that DIY ruggedness about it is like what he's crafted his entire life and being a filmmaker. And yeah, it's in the space. You see it. I see little things. I'm like, oh, that's definitely a Casey thing, and that's definitely a Casey thing. Don't get confused though, because there is some points of it that are really efficient. But yeah,
I think that's a great way to do it, because like I didn't grow up learning, video production. It's more of just like experience. Yeah. And this creates a space for people that don't have the ability or accessibility to, learn more about this stuff, just to like kind of try things out, see what it is. I've never used these types of lights before. Never seen some of this type of equipment before, and even the Shure Mic.
Oh yeah, the legendary microphone.
We were just talking about it, like, I didn't know it needed a $600. What was it called?
No. So the Cloud is like maybe like $5,200.
Okay.
I was saying that the whole thing to get to use this microphone is about $600.
Okay. Because I have looked at, because when I first started podcast, I was like,
what's the best mic?
Yeah, what's the best efficient mic? But the thing is, like, I'm not the type, because I'm no professional when it comes to the creative side. Like, for me, it's what can you do at the best cost?
Yeah, of course.
And then you work your way up there, right? You don't start off photography with a $5,000 camera, or like.
If you can,
you shouldn't.
I don't know if you got the stacks.
If you never, but if you never picked up a camera before, even know if you like it, but yeah, it's great. I mean, you guys also do like have the ability to kind of share, and like the creativity that you guys have here is pretty cool.
Yeah, like one of our. How you just said, Sharon, and one of our main things that we have is our B&H program, where like we can have creators who come, like you've had some friends like Justin who come and like he'll borrow a lens out of the locker, sign some documents, liability if you break the lens, you're responsible for it, but there's no charge. It's just you come and take as you can if we have it, use it, give a shout out to whatever you make. And I mean that, like, we have a red camera upstairs, like that's a $30,000 camera.
It's more than my car.
Exactly, and it's just like like people would never have access to that, but with that camera you can make a movie. And we have all the lenses you need to make that movie happen, and it's free, which is just crazy. But also on the microphone tip, man, you gotta check out. So behind you is the
I saw the
Elgato one. That microphone is great for $200.
$200. I heard
this is $400.
You have to know someone to know someone to get.
You gotta know someone who knows that. That's the VIP package right there. You gotta know a guy named Miguel. Also be Puerto Rican. Make that work.
So like, how did you? Because me and you met. I met you at an event. So
you met me at the
CGNY. So like I was.
You didn't meet me at CGNY.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
PUBG event.
You didn't meet me at PUBG event.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Before?
You met me at the NYXL LAN pop up. You doing the photo booth, and I came with the massage gun.
No, before.
Nah, that didn't happen.
No, the PUBG event.
PUBG event happened after.
After?
It didn't happen before.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I know, bro. Like, don't ever question my memory. I will go to the photo.
My memory is so bad. I create recap videos. That's what
I'm saying. Like, hey guys, my name is Ethan, and here's my recap video for the month.
Because I forgot everything in the
month. For the last 30 days, I have to recap.
Yeah. So, but like, how did you kind of like get involved in all this? Because I feel like that's the main question I hear for like creators, streamers, whatever. It's like, oh, like, how did you get involved?
So I guess so involved, like my whole story, or involved, or just like how I got involved in 368.
Like, because I know you do other things. I saw you on like a Cheddar as a personality.
Yeah. Okay.
And stuff
So
like
then I guess I'll just like start from the beginning. Yeah. Maybe you'll ask me one of these questions later anyway. So I better might as well just do it now. So, born and raised in New York.
Yeah.
Play video games all my life from like the age of like 5 and 6. Jumped around like just like doing competitive stuff, competing in Street Fighter a lot, made a lot of friends in there, gone to tournaments and LAN centers. And the way I got involved, which is interesting because like the way I got involved in this was never planned. Like I never planned to do hosting, which what you just mentioned. I never planned to do on-camera work. None of that. That was never even an idea. You know, I can even go back to like the oldest memory I have. Like I went to go to Florida. This is gonna be a little bit of a long story, so sorry guys.
It's okay, we're good.
Just want to preface that. So like when I was like maybe 17, 18, 19, I forget the age. I went down to Florida because I found this YouTuber named Elliot Hulse.
Okay.
I was watching his videos and I was like getting into like strength training a lot, and I was like, oh great, that guy's cool. He had an event called Strength Camp Challenge. This was like a big strength competition, like World's Strongest Man type shit, but like small scale. I went to go volunteer, went out there, hung out, made friends with Elliot, made friends with Chris, who's his right-hand man, who's my really great friend right now. And fast-forwarding through that story, he gave me a ride to the airport, and he was like, we were just sitting there shooting the shit, and he was talking about, well, like, what do you want to do? Like, what's your life? And I asked, you know, he's like, I see you into video games. He brought a PewDiePie. And I was just like, of course, this guy, this fucking meathead brings up PewDiePie. PewDiePie! The GOAT. And then we sit there, we just talk. He's like, oh, you should do this. Fast forward, I made a YouTube video just to make a YouTube video, and it was cool. And I was like, oh, maybe I want to do content creation. Never pursued it full time. Tried a couple times. I realized that over time, like now, like the typical like gameplay, gaming video type of shit, like is not my. Like, I don't find those interesting, nor do I watch them. So it's like to force yourself to do something you're not interested in, just because you know it'll get you views. Like, oh, if I do a how to do this. Like, I've made so many videos like
how to.
Like I've done like Pokemon Go. I had a video where it was like when it first came out, like what do the blue bars mean? But luckily for that, I was into Pokemon Go, so it was like
it was fun for you.
It was fun for me. So like that video got like 20,000 views. Cool. Like when No Man's Sky came out, I entirely like there was no, you could not stream the game, right? I got a game legally.
Oh, okay.
Later, guys. Sorry, there's people leaving. I got the game and I streamed it like on YouTube Gaming, right?
Were you not allowed to?
Not allowed to.
It didn't come out yet.
No, it didn't come out yet. It was a week before, right? And I streamed it on YouTube Gaming because I knew on Twitch they would have banned me instantly. So I was like, no one's streaming on YouTube. No one cares. So I put it on. Had like 5,000 people in chat. Had 8 million minutes watched in a day. Like a 10-year-old was born instantly.
I didn't know that.
She was crazy, right? So it went like I literally websites was reporting it. It went like kind of viral. But that was the last time I made gaming content. And then after that,
wait, what year was this?
This was like when No Man's Sky came out. It was like 2017, 2018. Okay. So I sprained my ankle during this whole like debacle. And I found a game through Facebook called Vainglory, which is a mobile League of Legends pretty much, but with tapping optimized for phone. And I was like, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna make all these. So I was like, yo, I don't want to play League of Legends. I'm gonna beat up on these 15-year-olds in their own game and like win this money real quick. And I started making YouTube videos for that. And I made like 30 videos. Like it was like just straight every day. Like I made a video every single
just
day.
Like gameplay or just like tutorials?
Straight gameplay. And sometimes there were videos like hot beginner tips for Vainglory.
So
like
you did the whole clickbait.
But like they did really well. And like the company like featured me on the game thing and all that. That's cool. So I guess how I got like, a little bit of experience, and then now how we're bringing it all together. So I had to just give that a little bit. So then I go to the Microsoft store. And they're having the For Honor tournament, and I had just got put on the For Honor like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, yo, this is like the best game ever. I was like, I love this medieval fighting. It's cool. I was in the beta, cracked out, Warlord Fiend. Go to the tournament, random select people, you get your own team. I paired with 3 people. Didn't know any of them, right? But I knew I was the best person in that building. There was no one, you couldn't tell me there was someone better than me. And I will stand that to this point. Anybody could see me. I was the best For Honor player at launch and post-launch for a month. Then I got fat and lazy because, you know, I got fed too well. So I go, tournament, win the tournament, had some crazy hype moments like 1v4s and stuff like that. The crowd was like, 1v4 because they wanted to see it. And that was great. And, you know, after that, I talked my shit on the mic because I'm a shit talker. I grew up watching wrestling. I'm from Brooklyn. All we do is talk trash. Sorry if I curse on your podcast.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
And then I get hit up by Zune. Zoom girl. Zoom girl.
They said Zoom, like, you know, the Microsoft
little iPod, little fake
like
little MP3. But so her name is I'm not gonna say her name. Her name is Zune, and she hits me up and she's just like, hey, have you ever casted before? And I was like, no. But she found me on YouTube, and she saw that I made For Honor videos and Vanguard videos, and she was like, "Oh, he can speak."
Yeah.
Which is like not a common thing for gamers, like to be able to.
You're very articulate and like you have a very eccentric and like outspoken voice.
Yeah, and it also like I think this is the key thing that especially when you're looking for talent is that can that person communicate energy and charisma, right?
Exactly. Yep.
And that's what you really want. Like you can know dog shit about the game, but as long as you can come with like charisma and energy, like that's enough, because it's just not something that's really seen a lot in gaming. People are trying to do more now. It's more like faking it a little bit, but some people
over exaggerating,
being
authentic about it.
Which is just part of my character anyway. So it's like it's not over exaggerating me. It's just me just turning
you just being you. Just
I'm turning up just slightly. So do that. Host all those gigs. Kill it. I do the entire tournament series.
Yeah.
Bunch of fun. Did another couple gigs for them, and then like one of my favorite memories is I was coming off the plane from Tokyo.
You were just visiting Tokyo?
I was in Tokyo for 2 weeks.
Okay.
I came back from Tokyo and she hits me up and she's like, "Yo, DBZ Fighters is out. I need a tournament." I'm just getting off the plane.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm literally I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yo, I need you." I'm like, I'm literally so funny. I'm wearing a Dickies Dragon Ball Z collab sweater with Vegeta that I got there.
Wow.
And I had this figure of me and I'm like, yo, I'm going to this. I go there, yo, midway through the trip, I'm falling asleep because I'm just so jet lagged. Like, we had just traveled like 21 hours.
Oh
it was huge, but it was great. And then now we'll get, then I did a gig with the Leaderboard, which is a company called Federator owns this YouTube channel. I did a video with Apex, got like 400,000 views or something like that. It was pretty good.
So this is all before I met you?
This is all before I met me.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, there's more stuff, but I'm giving you the super abridged version. And then after that gig, the NYXL pop-up happens.
It wasn't.
It was slightly before.
No, there was like an event. The first event I did with NYXL was at the Paley Center.
I didn't go to that one.
So
it was
the pop-up.
It was the LAN pop-up because
in Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn.
Oh,
it's the first place I met. It's the first place I met everybody. I had not gone to any NYXL events. Nope, that was the first. And that event, like everybody talks about to this day, because everybody became friends from that freaking event.
Yeah, that was honestly a really good thing for the community.
Yeah, it was great. It needs to come back. Bring it back. I know you got the money. So I went to that, met Dan, met Samira, met Ben, met Adam. Yep. You know all those people are if you follow Ian. Hope maybe one day they'll be on the podcast. Yep. Dan's a little camera shy. He probably be like, oh, I don't really want to. So I put the YouTube video out, and this is post that event for the leaderboard, and Dan was like, Dan Lee, and then Samir was like, "Yo, like, I'm putting in a word for you," and I didn't know it was about no housing or anything. They just saw the video and was like, "I guess I did a good job."
And then they met you in person also, so it's like a combination of seeing your online work, knowing you in person, just how you are as a character. That really builds like the community and like I could see why, but I honestly thought, I'm not gonna lie, my perception, and I feel like now that I know your story, it's like I have a whole different view.
You have a whole different view.
Yeah, because I know, like the way I thought you were just like Chris's friend, just like playing video games. So and that's it.
So it's so funny. I know. So Chris told me, and I always say this right now: if I never met Chris, I probably never would have done any of this, which is kind of a weird little relationship because Chris had a CGNY event for Hearthstone.
Yeah, and just to clarify, so Chris he runs the operations at Community Gaming New York. And the way I'm tied in there, I do all the creative stuff over there.
Yes.
So you were friends with Chris.
Yes, that I met from going to one of his events.
And Hearthstone, which one?
It was.
What year?
It was. I don't remember the year, but it was at one of the tavern like spots called like one of those bars. Like,
okay.
It's like Midtownish area.
Yeah. 35th Street.
Something like that. I think so.
Irish pub.
I think it had to be it. It has like an up, like an up. Yeah. Okay, so that's where I met him at, and then I just had, I would talk shit with Chris here and there, and we just had a relationship. Yep. And he told me about the For Honor event. So it was like, that's
Microsoft store?
Yeah. And then he told me, he's like, yo, I got this tournament, you should come, because he was running, and I was like, all right, bet, because he saw me playing For Honor a lot. Yeah. So I was like, all right, cool. And then pop up, boom, they had me MC for their Pele Center event, because they were like, yo, can you MC? I'm like, of course I can fucking MC. Like,
is that where you shaved your
beard? That is the moment people remember. So I remember, so to give you a little preface, we had the Pele Center event, and it was, big event, big fan event, and I had bet Ben Knitter, Mr. Knitter. I told him, I said, yo, because I was so confident I was going to beat him in Smash. I was like, dude, I will put my beard up. Also, for everyone listening, you have a nice... Right now it's trimmed. Yeah, I was about to say, did you trim it? No, I went to my brother. He took care of that. Okay. But I would never risk messing up this lusciousness. Ben... unbeknownst to me, runs a fucking camp with Dan Lee. He knows my character. They lie about the character he's gonna use against me.
Yep.
So I'm like, of course, because Ben was sweating in his boots at the studio that if at the office that if I beat him, which I was very well gonna beat him, knowing the character he was playing, he played Pichu in there and the little snake. That if I shaved his head, because he was bald, he was gonna lose all his hair and it was never gonna come back. And so like he won. Shaved my beard. It was great fun, and everybody was like, "What? This can't be."
Yo, I saw you, and I'm like, I honestly like did not even recognize.
No one knew me without the beard.
Yeah,
so that was a special moment.
Yeah.
And then after that, worked with Cheddar.
Yep.
Did a whole bunch of events with Cheddar Esports, doing like weekly gigs, and 368. I had been like, I came to a couple events. I had a relationship with Colin. That I had like, made friendship, which is, guys, at the end of the day, when it all comes down to making it in any industry, it all comes down to relationships and just being at the right place at the right time. That's really all it is. Like, that's,
you gotta put yourself out there.
Yeah, also. Sure. Like you're not gonna put yourself out there being from home. Like it's just
except for during quarantine time.
Yeah, I mean quarantine, of course. This is just this is a bigger version of our home. But yeah, I would text Colin like these ideas, like, yo, you should do this. Like when COD came out, I was like, yo, let's get the hot one sauce, all the hot ones, hot sauces, right?
Yeah.
Let's have a race to a nuke challenge, like $5 grand, 10 grand on the line. First person to get it wins all the money, right? But you only have 10 lives to do it.
Okay.
Right? And no one was like, it's just at the beginning of COD, no one was gonna get this nuke. And it was like every time you die, the wings get hotter. So you're eating these hot wings while you're trying to get this nuke, so it's just like ridiculous. Of course, never happened. It was just like ideas, and I had to give him another idea, and he was just like, "Oh, yo, in order for me to make these happen, I need someone to work with me to like take the load off because I'm doing so much." And I was like, "Well, I'm free, so what's up?" And then brought me in, worked an event with Lenovo for TSM MIF, and then met Paul. Paul liked me, and then now I'm here.
A lot of it, I feel like, just getting more involved is. Like when I got involved with CGNY.
Sorry for the long story, by the way.
No, it's a good understanding. I mean, it's how it gets to know you more. It's you volunteer, like you have an interest. It's like volunteer your time, get to know people better, and then if you're good at what you do, and it's like people will invite you to come back. They like you, like that's how you like build those relationships and friendships. Because I get asked a lot, like, oh, how do I get involved in a lot of things I do? It's just volunteer some of my time, and you just enjoy being with other people. Like I'm pretty extroverted. I like to meet a lot of people and like have fun, make sure everyone's having a good time. You always refer to me as the great Asian connector.
Yo, dude, you know every single Asian in New York. They have touched your hand. You have kissed a baby. You've done something. You've broken bread. I have not met a single person that does not have a mutual with Ethan.
We gotta find someone.
Dude, it's rough, man. It's because he's in the heart of it. He's in K-Town.
K-Town, yeah.
He loves that area. Ichi.
Maru.
Man, Maru.
Me and DJ are actually thinking about going to
we out. Yo, the BCD Tofu House? We out?
Well, so, there's a lot been going on with like gaming, especially there's been a lot of uptick, right, in game hours played. Because of COVID, everyone's staying indoors. Like, do you see a change on like what you're doing on the daily or anything?
So,
how's that affected like you?
Oh, okay. So, silence is very powerful.
So you were saying
right now, Ethan.
What are the changes?
So the biggest part, like when I was like 15, 16, I used to weigh like 220 pounds, right? Okay. So I was fat. I was a big boy.
Oh man,
big boy. I'm talking whole XL sizes of Papa John's pizza, chicken parmesan, talking about everything, the works, whole box of Intimate cookies to myself. And I at a certain point I was like, all right, this is definitely not healthy. I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I feel. So I need to like get rid of this. Got rid of it. So like fitness is a very big part of my life. Not a lot of people know me when I was fat. They're like, well, you were fat? What the hell? It's like, yeah, dude, I was fat, man. I was a big boy. So coming into this quarantine, like, I'm 27 now, and as I've gotten older, I've always played video games since I was 5 years old, and I've noticed that like my interest in video games has waned year over year since I've hit like 25 or 23.
Yeah.
Just because I'm like, all right, and my co-host Bijan was on Super Late with me. He'll be like, oh, it's just because like you're getting older. I'm like, no, it's because like I look at the games now and I'm like, there's no like game that's like Halo 3 back in the day, midnight launch party. You're fragging out with your boys. You got pizza. You're playing campaign. You're playing like that doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah.
And I guess like, oh well, no, the kids are really sad about Fortnite. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's like hysteria because of like emotes and like these cool little skins and all that. But like that like community, like that passion, that's also very, very unique to New York because everybody, you know, lives like, it's not like Cali where there's like real classism and elitism where it's like the rich people don't ride the train with the poor people, right? Like in New York, everybody's riding the train.
Everyone's just fucking stuck with them.
Everybody's breathing each other's air. Everybody's like, everybody's suffering together. So there's like this one unity that we all have because of the city. Yeah. So like that also reflects into our relationships and what we do and blah, 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 and how we develop as people. So this had nothing to do with what I was going to say. But anyway, so where I'm at right now for my quarantine is for a very long time, I wanted to work with a guy named Ido Portal. Okay. And Ido Portal, for those who know UFC, was Conor McGregor's movement coach when he won his belt against Jose Aldo, won his second belt against Eddie Alvarez, and so on and so forth. Just the guy who he's been studying movement, which when I say movement, the simplest way to say it is like exercises and different things that like from capoeira to gymnastics to, you know, ballet, all this stuff. Yeah. And I've always felt really inspired by the guy because like he's able to do like these crazy movements with his body, like, and just so much dominance over this vehicle, this Gundam he's in, his meat Gundam, that, you know, he's able to do these cool things. So it was always super expensive. It was like $1,100 for coaching for 12 weeks. Which for some people like, oh, well, that's about right. And the commitment was
it's actually not think about it.
But here's the commitment.
Yeah.
6 days a week.
6 days a week.
Almost 6 hours a day of training. So you're almost full time working out. And I use air quotes on it.
We're working
on these different elements to achieve what they consider basics of like human movement, which are like handstands, certain like low level flips, animal crawl, like stuff like you would be like, this is not like basic stuff. To them, this is basic. Like to us, we look at them and they're like superhumans, but like they're just regular humans to them. So like I finally got invested in that, and that's what I've been doing over quarantine. I'm learning how to juggle, which I saw
that. Yeah, is that a part of it?
Oh like, yeah, 100%. Okay. The juggling is like I found. So like there's a great TED talk anybody can look up called why the human brain was made, or why we have a body, something like that. It's like 20-minute TED talk, and the guy talks about like how your brain fires when you move, and that movement can be like learning new movements, doing different things, and how neuroplasticity increases, how your brain grows, like, and how it's one of the leading ways to like as you get older to prevent like cognitive decay is to constantly be learning new movement. And like whether that be like juggling, for example, which is a very complex thing. It's a lot of hand-eye coordination. It looks easy. Like I got balls on me right now. You want to practice?
I actually can juggle.
Yeah, let me see.
All right, yeah.
Don't stop.
We're not stopping it. All right, so for those of you listening, Gabe's just getting some balls, and guess I'm gonna be juggling.
Let's see this right now.
Wait, there's only two?
Only two. Just do two.
Oh.
If you're elite, one hand.
Wait, you didn't say one hand.
One hand, go. Let's see it.
All right, wait.
There you go. You got some. I
got a little something.
That's cool. But so the thing about the juggling, right, is that
was fun.
So it's such a. This is really great for anybody who has ADD.
Yeah.
Because you have to focus on something, and it's very stimulating. And they found that this actually helps with kids with ADD.
It's also very bouncy. Is that a
lacrosse
specific
ball?
Is this a specific ball? Like, did he tell you to use?
No, I just bought this ball because I wanted to do like massages on my thighs.
Okay.
And I was like, this is great.
It's like multi.
Yeah, it's multi. I mean, I juggle bean bags, I juggle tennis balls, but so like the juggling is just one example of learning something new and complex. Because as we get older, we just stop doing shit like that. Like
you're not exploring
what you can do.
Yeah.
We get caught into a mode and we keep doing that over and over and over again. And like I have found with the juggling, that with my aim in video games over these last like 6 weeks that I've been training has actually gone up. And I don't play that much. Like I play like maybe an hour, 2 hours.
What was your rank in Valorant?
My peak bronze 2, baby. I will hold this point. I am the king of bronze players.
Let's have a bronze tournament.
Please come so I can show my dominance at the bottom of the pack. And everybody knows I'm the king of bronze. Sign me, 100 Thieves. You need me for the content. But no, like I found that like my headshots have gone up, my flicks have gone up, just because that relationship between hand-eye coordination And there's other things I'm doing like boxing drills, like smacking balls and just keeping balls going and bouncing and bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. And yeah, I mean, I feel like it has a difference. So you're like, oh, does it really have a difference? Try it, learn juggling, learn something new while you're in quarantine. Yeah. And yeah, that's what I've been doing, just juggling, working out a lot. And hopefully out of this quarantine, I'll do a backflip into a split.
That'd be cool.
And then I'll be like, yo, what's good, guys?
Backflip into a split while juggling.
That'll be that's kind of crazy.
So with a lot of the there's a lot of been changes in the video game industry. Like, for example, I think this was maybe not the first year, but they had like a lot of their press conferences online. So what there was, honestly I forgot what they're all called, but like there's basically the PlayStation one. Yeah. Then Nintendo had some announcements go out, and Xbox had some announcements go out with all their new consoles. Like, any thoughts on, like, well, first off, PlayStation, Xbox, or Nintendo?
We're talking about today or overall?
Let's do today first.
Okay, it's 100% Switch. Nintendo.
Wait, it's Nintendo.
100% Nintendo today, just because of what the Switch represents, what it does, its potential. All they gotta do is get the power even more, and it'll be like, dude, it's just like, why do I have to be tethered to my console to play games? Like, isn't it like I should be able to take my game on the go now? Right, and that's what all these companies are doing with like their mobile, like, cloud gaming services, which is a great thing. I mean, PlayStation definitely won this generation, like, period. It's like no contention of the last generation. PS4 was like the best selling console, had really great games on it. I think before then, my overall answer is PlayStation.
Okay. You just think they had like
broadly they've won the most. Yeah. Like Xbox had one era, which is the Xbox 360 era.
Yeah, the 2004 to 2000 like 9 area.
Like that is like uncontested Xbox area. The only thing second to that was the Wii, or maybe even the DS. But that's not a console. But yeah, like I mean, if PlayStation would have figured out the PlayStation Vita, like the PlayStation Vita needed to happen for the Switch to happen. If they would have figured that out, then PlayStation would be winning even more right now, because they would have figured out how to have like a real at-home console experience. Because the Nintendo device, the Switch is great, but it's not like, you're not getting PS4 level games. Like, I mean, which is great because Nintendo, they don't. And granted, I say that you're not getting PS4 level games based on graphics. Like the gameplay in Nintendo games is always the best, which is why people love Nintendo games, because they're so much fun and they're so refined. There's nothing fucking wrong with their games. But PlayStation, is like the graphics, the story, it's the complete package. I saw the PlayStation 5 launch. Yeah. The binder with the router with 2 sheets of paper on the side,
or the other meme, Kaiba from
oh god, that was great. Kaiba with his head on top. It's just like
consoles. I feel like, I mean, I think I'm speaking for both of us, but like I feel like we don't really pay attention too much to consoles.
Not anymore. Yeah. I mean, I used to. I was a console gamer up until like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. When PUBG came out.
When it 2017,
when PUBG was really popping.
I think it was like 2017.
That's when I built my PC for the first time, and I was like, yo, I gotta play this game.
And then it's like, once you have your PC, that just if you just play it on the PC, like all the games, like
you got Xbox with its Xbox Game Pass now, which means you get all the Xbox games. What is that? So I mean, it's just like their subscription service. So you pay like $5
to get every game,
every Xbox game on PC. So you can just play. You don't need to have an Xbox. They're not trying to sell you an Xbox. The Xbox is just there as like a story piece, like for people who don't have PCs. Yeah. But if you have a PC, you don't need an Xbox. Like the only console you need is a Switch and a PlayStation. That's one. If you pick your poison. Yeah. Like, and I think that
I prefer the Switch.
The Switch is the best. It's the best. Definitely, like if it would have came out like earlier in like the lifespan of last generation, probably would have won. Yeah. Just because it would have more time to make more games during that cycle. Yep. But the PlayStation, like one of the things that got me weirded out was that, which is like now everything's about trying to have like an equal or similar experience across the board on all our devices. Fortnite pioneered that with going on mobile, going on all the things. Yep. So, for example, the new Assassin's Creed is going to have a PlayStation 4 version and a PlayStation 5 version, right?
Like now, the same game?
Same game, just going to have a 4 version and a 5 version. But to make that work, they have to cap the frame rate for like the 5 version too. So it's like, or some weird, like it's only going to run like 30 frames or some weird.
Like basically they can't unlock to its full potential because
they're making it for the other console. Yeah. So like not that that's going to be like the case for all the games, but that's just an example of like like the consoles are not that different in terms of specs. Like, granted they are, but like you're not getting that big of a difference that like this is next gen.
Yep.
Like this is crazy. Like what we're getting is ridiculous. Like, dude, maybe this console is gonna be $700. At that point, save $300 and build a freaking PC.
Yep. Also, like with PCs, like I just think the value lasts a lot longer.
Yeah.
And like you could do so much more. It's like
2080 Ti.
Yeah. 20, yeah, were you saying the 2080? I forgot what video it was, but I remember you.
Oh, I said the 2080 Ti is the stunt. It's like it's the flex.
It's the flex.
It's a different tax bracket. When you get to 2080 Ti, you know you're in a select group of people. You know, real 1%ers out here.
Oh my god, it's really true. I mean, video games has always been an interesting part. I think the part that's grown a lot, which has grown in the past, you know, maybe like 8 years or 10 years or whatever, is esports.
Yes.
So like, you know, we put on event, like community gaming puts on events related to competition, and you know 368 as well with prizes.
Yeah.
Like, what's your overall thoughts and like the shift, or what do you think needs to happen to kind of grow esports?
So
like, would you want it to be like some people want it to be like ESPN on that level, or should it be like completely its own separate thing?
So, I mean, that's that. Like, so there's two ways to go about this, and I always get into a debate with my friend Jawan, who's won Emmys from Hollywood, executive producer, a whole bunch of stuff, blah 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 blah. Right? He has his opinions on gaming, and you know, it's like gaming needs to go in this direction for it to be like blown up, where gaming does. I mean, gaming's already blown up. Like, gaming makes more money than all the medias combined. Like, it's not like it has to go anywhere high. Like, I think it's already reached its ceiling, and the only thing is esports, right? Now, when he says like the new normal, and I'm granted, I'm butchering what Jawan said. I just want you to know this right now, Jawan. If you do watch this, I'm butchering what you said. This is how I heard it. Like, if you look on TikTok, right? Okay. Like, you have these kids who like, they're gamers. They put quotation marks on that. They're gamers, meaning they do like a Fortnite meme video.
Okay. They're memers.
Yeah, they're memers. Not that they're actually playing the game, but like they'll do a reference like girls who play Fortnite be like stuff like that, right? And that's like, oh, this is like the new normal, and these are the people who are gonna like decide what gaming is because they're like into sneakers and like skateboards, but they're also into gaming, and they're also, which is fine. I mean, yeah, people are gonna like, New York is a great example. Like, people in New York have multiple different interests because it's a city of multiple different people.
So much going
on. So it's like, the idea that gaming is going to be taken over by this group of people is, like I said, maybe like years and years and years later, but like real people who game like are still the majority, and like all they care about is for the most part video games. Like, they don't care about the
other stuff,
which leads into like the ESPN-ness of it. Yeah. Like, I understand like doing that because it's like you want to like professionalize it, and like people are trying to make money off of it in like a different way. But dude, to get a team in the Overwatch League, it was $25 million.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe 30 million, because you got to think about 5 million for like housing players, feeding players, flying players, coaching staff.
That's one thing. So I work in finance and accounting, and I think my dream job is to understand and like be involved in finance and accounting for a gaming company, or an esports team. And
Under Thieves. If you got to pick a team right now, what would it be?
What am I doing?
Like what you want to do? You want
like
esports
like,
and accounting.
like VP of like accounting and finance.
What org? T1, TSM.
No, it would either be like
Cloud9,
either
G2.
TSM.
Why TSM?
Or I want to say 100 Thieves. I
100 Thieves is the best one.
I really like 100 Thieves from a consumer standpoint.
Yes, that's why.
From a consumer standpoint.
Yes.
But
Nate Shot's a genius.
I don't know, like, just because of all the other people on the, like Scooter Braun and all the other guys that are involved, I'm not sure how they are, like, from like finance and accounting and moral point of view. Like, I know for a fact, just working corporate and especially in finance, there's like what consumers see and what actually happens. Yeah. Not to say that like they're fake or anything, but it's just like it's hard to tell. I just feel like with TSM, it was a very it wasn't a huge investment money from the TSM grew from the ground up, right? It grew from Dan Din and Andy Din, you know, making a website, compared to like 100 Thieves was like investment money thrown in with all these other. That's the only reason why I don't say 100 Thieves 100%, but I actually really love like what they're doing. Yeah,
I mean, 100 Thieves is the best example of a brand that is like, they know that, for example, like the esports thing is big and it's something, but esports is
apparel,
so niche.
Yeah.
Like it's so niche. Like
Margins are probably small.
You have to be really into it.
Yep.
And like you have to have like a successful team, like in League of Legends, like,
Yep.
and maybe CS:GO. Like the other games don't really make you that much money. Like,
I would say most money would come through not even like with the highest margins is probably like advertising.
Yeah.
And probably I'm not too sure about apparel. I'm not like, I don't know how those margins are in apparel, but I would think advertising is a big way. And I just think that 100 Thieves has a lot going for them, but at the same time, I really want to get into the numbers. I really want to know, like, they both had those facility tours.
$100 million.
How much was 100 Thieves?
$100 million.
And then how much
TSM's around like more than that?
I thought
maybe like 150.
I remember one of them had the title like the most expensive. Like, yeah, and it's crazy because it's just like, damn, like, I mean, I know how much my offices are and like how much they're worth and like how much, like, I really want to know how much revenue they make.
TSM is one of the biggest esports organizations. Upon completion of their training facility, it was 13 mil.
Oh, 13 mil?
So 100 Thieves almost 10x'd it. TSM announces 50 million esports facility in Los Angeles is April 14th. So 50 mil, half of 100 Thieves, but 100 Thieves got like Cash App or something. They got more. They got Twitter money. They got Square money. Oh, you got something against Cash App? You
no,
boy?
I'm just wondering like how much, like, I want to see these deals because so the way I look at it, they
also have Drake money. They have a lot of money.
I follow from a finance point of view. Like, I think of a lot of these companies as like MSG. MSG is, I kind of use their financial statements as a framework for all these esports because MSG, they make revenue off tickets. They house all these events, and then they do partnerships with the teams and everything. They own teams. So it's just, I use that as a framework to kind of see what works and what doesn't work and try to understand more of like contracts because it's not as simple as like, Bjergsen's contract is 10 mil for 4 years, and then there's a lot more intricacies that go into it. It's like that's the stuff that I want to understand. But if you had to pick 100 Thieves for sure is like your favorite team.
Oh yeah, it's not even a question.
Yeah,
like it's a team run by gamers, right? It's the most consumer friendly team. It's focused on content, which is the most. I think important thing.
The content is
the content. At the end of the day, esports, and I think people are realizing that esports is it's not the thing that's gonna make a lot of money, right? It's like my friends.
It helps.
It helps. It's a great part of
way to get into the content.
Brand.
Yeah.
But it always comes down to the content, picking the right people to be a part of that content.
Yeah.
And like how they're gonna represent it. Like Nate Shot, and I'm sure Scooter Braun has a big hand in this. They've picked a great team. Courage, Valkyrie. They got a couple other people there. I'm sorry if I don't get your names on top of my head. Yasuo. Yeah. Like they've picked like the best people to represent their brand. Hiko, yes, they just got Hiko, the man.
But did you hear what happened?
What happened?
So Hiko was kind of somewhat promised to build the team from the ground up. Did you hear what happened?
No, what happened?
So it was kind of the impression that Hiko was going to recruit a bunch of CS players, right? Or like, but then they got 4 ex-pro PUBG players, and he was kind of like
sus about it.
Yeah, well, yeah, he said something on stream, but then he said something back on Reddit to kind of like
wash it up and
stuff like that. He's like, oh, there's no beef between us, but like that's why it's like a little shady. And also like with the trades, like I just think back with Meteos. I don't know if you're from the League of Legends player.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with that deal, like he got traded. It was like kind of fishy of like what was going on. So that's kind of like what I mean with like there's a lot of back work and like only as consumers we see a part of it. But showing that little leak, I'm sure there's a lot more that goes behind closed doors.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'm pretty sure like people are promised certain things all the time. It's just like, well, it's not going to be the case because
with the also with the Nick Merckx thing.
The Nick Merckx thing, like that's what I was kind of alluding to right there.
Damn, that kind of
throw it back to the shade real quick.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like you look at their brand, you look at the strength they've got, the team they have assembled. Like the only competitor to them is probably TSM or FaZe, who works into.
I honestly just don't understand FaZe. Maybe it's because I'm too
FaZe
older.
Is supreme, bro. It's supreme.
I don't know. When I think of FaZe, I just think of like 10-year-old TikTokers.
What did that? So
that's not supreme.
That's the people that Joanna talking about. Those are the people they want. Because look, they're gonna say, they'll be like, "Yo, buy my merch. I'm rocking this Nike. I'm rocking this Gucci.
It's
What's
like
good?"
It's like, it reminds me of like Logan Paul and
Yes.
Oh my god.
It's entirely that. It's like, dude, buy my merch. I'm loud. I'm in your face. I smoke weed. What's up? Trap music. I love Travis Scott. This and the third. Like everything you're thinking of. That's phase, and that's why it's phase up, kid. Phase up, B.
But that's not Supreme. Supreme is more
dude,
like...
no, Supreme is, dude.
Yeah?
Supreme goes hand in hand with this. Watch the phase and Supreme drop happen. I'm calling it. The next 2 years, you're gonna see it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You know what? We're gonna sit back and look about this like, damn, like, son. Yo. Gabe called it into existence. FaZe Banks.
FaZe X Supreme.
Dude, just the name. FaZe Banks. That's your CEO's name. That's your founder. FaZe Banks.
FaZe Banks.
Like, you gotta think about Tfue. Like, this is all... Well, Tfue's no longer with FaZe. But I'm saying, like, these are the people, the loud, in-your-face, Zoomer generation. Like, we're just having...
Isn't it crazy, like...
They freaking munch on Tide Pods.
Gaming has changed, like, so much. Like, I remember it was, like a bad thing to be a gamer. Or, like, to, like... Yeah, I remember I got made fun of for playing Pokemon. And now everyone's...
everybody plays Pokemon. Everybody plays Pokemon now. Everybody looks Charizard and Pikachu. What's your favorite Pokemon?
It has to be... It's fucking Pikachu.
You know what? I thought for a second you were going to say Charizard, and I was going to flame you so hard.
Charizard, I feel like, is like the basic bitch.
Thank you. Somebody's saying it. The fucking generic brand cereal Pokemon.
I will say, like, it's a cool Pokemon card. It's like the
great card.
It's like
great card.
When you think of rare Pokemon cards,
think of rare cards.
You think of Charizard.
That Charizard card is elite.
Yeah.
It's an elite card.
Well, like when I think of like overall Pokemon,
dude, like I'm taller than Charizard. He's 5'7". Like,
really?
Yeah, he's 5'7".
How tall are you?
I'm 5'8".
Are you really?
I'm looking down at Charizard by an inch. I'm like, what's good with you? Like, I just made a video on that was targeted at 100 Thieves Blackbeard, which is just like I'll give a little preface of it. So a couple weeks ago, I made a comment on Twitter, and I was like, hey, I put a question up. I made this because he's got like 6 minutes. We have to stop the camera. I said, yo, Agumon versus Charmander. Agumon wins. It's not even a question. And of course, because we have Pokemon stands out here who are like, oh no, Pokemon's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
You know, people are in the chat in the comment section, and Ambox Yang Sin, she goes on to say, that's facts, that's real. And then 100 Thieves Blackbeard comes in, waving his inferior beard, trying to flex his opinions. Clearly, he's been soaking up too many rays from California with goddamn Nate Shot. He goes and says, no, why would you compare these off-brand Pokemon to stuff like that, and just like insinuating, saying these things about Digimon that are just not true. And his main thing was like, Charizard is elite. And I was just like, dude, Charizard is a salamander. Agumon, matter of fact, we'll stick to it because it was Agumon versus Charmander. Charmander is a salamander.
Yep.
Agumon is a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Which one do we have a museum about? Is it the salamander or is it the dinosaur?
Fucking dinosaur.
Land Before Time, Jurassic Park, Big Brain. The Digimon movie was lit.
It was.
All right, and you know what was the star of that movie? Agumon. Prophecy. He was a Digimon of prophecy. Charmander, you can find any Charmander in there's millions of Charmanders. There's not just one Charmander, there's hundreds of them. Yeah. There's a whole island full of Charizards. But Agumon, there's one Agumon. He's the chosen one of destiny. That's all I'm gonna say on that. But watch the video when it comes up.
That is hot takes.
I think you should, before you probably stop it.
All right. Well, any other last things?
Oh, you done already? I'm ready to keep going. Like, we're just getting warmed up here.
I think we're good.
Wow, Ethan's coming.
I will say this. What are some topics maybe we didn't discuss that you want to talk about? Do you have anything?
Oh, that's like what? Like that's like, okay. I got one for you right now. Hold on. I gotta ask you a question.
Wait, what?
Did
you write this down?
I mean, listen, hold on. Wait. Okay, so
what's the question?
I'm a historical idiot, and I have dumb conversations with my best friend Jordan all the time, right? Before this, I had like an entire list of questions here. Here you go. You ready?
I'm ready.
This is not one of the questions, I'm just making this up. If you had to put together a basketball team. From manager to every position with superhero characters, but Superman level people are not invited. Like, Hulk can't be on this team.
Okay, so I'm making a basketball team.
Yeah.
Of fictional
superhero characters.
But the superheroes can't be like Superman.
Superman or Hulk, because that's just stupid. Well, Superman can blend in because he knows the control stuff, but you can't like have Hulk.
Can I have like X-Men in there?
You can have X-Men in there.
Like, okay.
Do you want me to give you an example of mine while you do yours?
Well, I'm thinking. I think.
Who's your coach? Who's your coach?
What is Professor X.
Professor X is your coach. All right.
Yep.
Who's your point guard?
Who's my point guard?
Do you know what the point guard position is?
Yes, I play basketball.
Just want to make sure.
I'm just thinking.
I'm just up so hard.
I'm just thinking of like maybe the Flash.
That's cheap.
What do you mean that's cheap?
Dude. He's literally running through time. That's not. No, that's not allowed. That's not allowed. Mulligan off the rib, veto. Professor X. Who's your point guard? You know what? Point guard's kind of hard. Who's your center? There's a lot of big bodies you could throw to. Who's your center?
Shit. Who's the center? What's that guy that could stretch?
The guy. Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, Mr. Fantastic.
That's your center.
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually a good one. Mr. Fantastic center. Okay, who's your small forward?
Trying to think.
This is gonna
someone like that can play defense and go against a post up. Just trying to think.
This is gonna be great for your socials right here.
Shit. I've never had to think about this. That's why
I'm making you work. Your brain is sweating.
How tall is Wolverine?
Wolverine is like my height, 5'7".
Nah,
he's fast.
But he's too small.
But he's awkward.
Oh wait, are they playing against other superheroes?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a stack up. I mean, you know.
I would say like fucking
Sabretooth. There's people you
I
can
think
throw.
Sabretooth is a good one.
As your small forward, your power forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either Saber, because like he's very agile as well.
Okay.
Like if anything, I think Sabretooth is technically more agile than Wolverine.
Maybe. I think so. He's definitely got a lot of agility.
Like comparatively.
He moves like a ballerina.
Yeah. So I would say Sabretooth.
So your coach is Professor X.
Yes, that makes the most sense for
Your
me.
center is Mr. Fantastic.
Yep.
Your small forward is Sabretooth. So you have a power forward and a point guard.
Wait, did we do shooting guard?
I forgot shooting guard. My bad.
You're saying I don't know basketball.
my bad. The 6 man.
Shooting guard. I wanted to say someone like. I wanted to say someone like Magneto, but I don't think there's like any metal part of the ball in there.
This is mad cheap, yo. Just where you going with the ball? Smack that shit out your hand. Where you going?
I feel like I'm missing more superheroes. I'm just thinking X-Men right now for
That's
some
fine. I mean, hey, you're almost done with your list, and you just got X-Men in there.
Like,
there's Avengers. There's like.
Oh yeah, well, Avengers is.
There's
like,
DC heroes. You only think of Marvel.
I hate DC.
All right, whatever. Right? Small brain.
I don't know.
Continue.
Let me see. You know what? Who would have been a? Oh, you said no Hulk.
No Hulk.
No Hulk.
No Hulk. That's not fair.
I would have Thor as the power forward.
You can't have Thor. He's a god. What is wrong with you?
All right. Fuck. What's that guy's name?
Which one?
I can't move.
You said what's that guy?
Like I'm not moving. You can't see me.
Oh, wait.
Thor. You know who I'm talking about though.
You can't.
From Guardians of the Galaxy.
Drax.
Drax.
Okay, that's your power forward.
That's a power forward.
Who's your shooting guard?
Shooting guard is going to be.
You got shooting guard and point guard left.
Point guard would be Nightcrawler.
Okay. Nightcrawler's your point guard. My team is gonna fuck your team up.
I want to know what your team is. And then shooting guard is probably who's like pinpoint accurate. I don't know, like who? Oh, Static Shock.
Okay, I'm gonna fuck your whole team up. All right.
I will recap mine again.
Okay, so his coach, Professor X.
Yeah.
Small forward was Sabretooth.
Yeah.
Your center was Mr. Fantastic.
Yep.
Your shooting guard was, I forgot.
Static Shock.
Static Shock. Your point guard was Nightcrawler.
Yes.
Who was your power forward? Drax. And then your small forward.
Sabretooth.
Okay, so I correct? Okay,
yeah.
All right, cool. Okay, so my coach, off the rip, just because he has this in his bio, like anybody ever brings him up, he always wins. It's the dumbest superhero, and everybody loves him. It's Batman. Batman's my coach.
Why is he?
Because Batman can always find a way.
Oh my god.
That's what I'm saying. When I'm down and out, I got the Batman factor to help me.
I will find a way.
I will find a way to figure this out. He's got data on every player. He's got moves. You could have Professor X. Professor X can read minds.
Yeah, he's really.
But you know what? It's Batman though.
He's playing the mind games.
But Batman can figure him out.
Professor X will tell Batman.
This is what you need to do.
Yeah,
he's gonna Jedi mind trick him.
Yeah, and it's like, and then you're doing the wrong shit.
Batman's the first one, but fuck Batman, he's whack. But he's my first. He's my coach. Because if he was on the court, I was having this conversation with my boy Jordan. Batman can't be on the court. He's getting washed so bad.
If anything, Batman would just buy out the refs.
My point guard, you got nothing for him, and your whole team just messed it up. Spider-Man, bro. What you got against Spider Sense? What you got against Spider Sense?
That's actually really good.
I'm saying that.
That's actually really good. That's really good.
And my boy Jordan, because we had this conversation, he's like, yo, just think about the cross up Spider-Man could do, right? He's sitting there going, right? And then you think he's going one way? He webs his foot so he hard stops. Oh, you're like, he's breaking all your ankles.
Who's your shooting guard?
My shooting guard, because they gotta work with my point guard.
Yeah.
Right? Venom. So now you got, so now I got the combo. But those two, that's the cheesy combo. My center, I can't use him because he's Juggernaut and he's stupid. My center is Colossus.
But that's just as...
No, but he's like
regular Colossus?
Colossus, like metal Colossus.
Like, metal Colossus?
Like metal Colossus.
Like he's metal.
Like he's metal. That's not broken.
But you can't use Hulk? All right,
Hulk can literally break the entire room just by staring. What are you talking? You can just do this. Hulk smash. Now, where are we playing ball? Where are we playing ball? I sent it, yo, Colossus right there. You can't move him. He's sitting like, what's good?
He's just there.
He's just there. Like, how you gonna post up on? How you gonna post up on Colossus? He's like, what's good? What's good? What's good? Throw it up. Throw it up.
So who's your power forward?
My power forward. Damn, that's actually a good one. I didn't think this far. Power forward. I'm taking Wolverine.
Wolverine?
He's short. He's Aki. You know, he's got some. He can come in a little bit. Yeah. He ain't no bitch, so he's not gonna fake a shot. Yeah. My small forward is gonna be. I was thinking Silver Surfer, but that's illegal.
Why is that?
Because he's got cosmic power. He can just like. I'm gonna go to DC for this one. For my small forward. Damn, I was gonna say Green Lantern too. That's kind of broken.
Lantern,
that's broken.
That's
He's making whatever he wants. Yeah. Small forward. Damn, that's the problem when you try to go to DC. Is like nobody's really regular. In DC. Everybody's a god.
Yeah. Who is in DC? Like,
oh, dude, I mean Superman.
Yeah, besides Superman,
Darkseid,
Wonder Woman.
But those are gods. So it's like they don't really die. Okay, so I guess my small forward, I'll probably just take. You know what? Since you did all X-Men, Miles Morales. I'm gonna have the Spideyverse inside my game. I got 3 Spidey senses and 1 kid goes invisible. What are you doing?
Just play it out.
Just play it out. That was a whack list, by the way.
It's like Marvel vs. Capcom.
It's Marvel vs. Capcom and
NBA Street Volume 2, Marvel vs. Capcom.
And then I got one more question for you. All right, because I know you're itching to go now. You know, I can see it in your face. You're like, oh yeah, can we just wrap this up? You know, this is going longer than my average podcast. Okay.
Retention is not that long.
Oh, come on, dude. People listen to 2-hour-long podcasts. Get the hell out of here. Wait, hold on.
Who's the most famous Asian person I met?
Probably Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee.
Yeah, I mean, like he's so culturally like.
I've never met Bruce Lee.
You never met Bruce Lee?
Bruce Lee met me.
Bruce Lee met you.
I'm joking.
What a guy. You can wait. What did we? Oh, okay. Here we go. So this. All right. You can't use money in this scenario.
Okay.
No money.
Okay.
No money's allowed. So, you get a wish.
Okay.
But whatever you wish for multiplies every day.
So like, I wish for sushi.
You get
a roll of sushi.
You get 2 rolls of sushi the next day, and then 2 rolls becomes 4 rolls and 6 rolls, and it doesn't stop.
Okay. So whatever I wish for,
you're getting multiple.
Like I get like that unit, and then it
multiplies.
doubles.
2, 4, 6, 8, 16, 32, and it keeps timesing, which is why you can't use money because money is the easiest option.
Okay. I would get wishes. More wishes.
No. Get the fuck out of here with the no. All
right, let me think.
With the cheap way out.
I would say multiplies day after day. But does it double or does it like?
So it first starts off at 1, then it becomes 2, then 4, then 8. It goes by multiples of 2. But like, you know, that 32 now becomes a 64
Yeah,
and like,
yeah.
et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. And it indefinitely.
It does not stop. So this is really a curse.
Yeah, it's actually more of a curse than. Well, I'm just thinking, what's something you could flip that easily?
That quick?
Yeah.
Think about it.
You already know? Like what?
No, I like my my dumb ass said more time, but then I was like, that doesn't solve the issue.
Like
of,
more time of like your life, or
more
like
time of my life, right? I was like,
so like you live, and first you live an extra year, then it comes
extra 2 years, and then blah blah blah. But then again, it's like that's terrible because I'm still getting old.
Yeah,
you just living longer.
Want that.
Yeah, hell no, it's trash.
I would say
my boy Jordan said avocados.
The fuck.
Because he said he's gonna sell the avocado.
You can't.
And flip them.
You gotta think of something like something you could easily flip, or you can easily store. And you can't say money.
Can't say money. Money's too easy. Just ask for more money and it just keeps coming.
I would say gold.
Now imagine you wake up one morning and an entire fucking pallet of gold falls on you.
I wouldn't say a pallet, right? It's
how much
one gold. I'll start
gold
with
nugget.
Gold coin.
Oh. Easy to manage. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's easy to manage.
Simple. Okay. Wow.
Because like if you just think about it this way, like you could put safe deposit boxes, right? You can get a like large one, but at the same time you should be able to flip those easily. And also it's like it's not that large enough where it's like even when you're at whatever level you're at, because once you're at the level where you have so much wealth already collected, you should be able to purchase enough land so when that next day comes, you'll be able to store that, and then you'll be able to. But the thing, what that will fuck over completely is the value of gold in itself.
So then you end up having an invaluable nugget.
Yeah.
Yo, Ethan with the freaking big brain finance.
Because like at the end of the day, like you already achieved that maximum wealth, right? You like a good amount of wealth, but then at the end of the day, it's just compiling. Then you could always just smelt it and just make shit.
Man, Ethan figured out how to get money without asking for money.
Because now think about it, that's probably the best thing to do, because once it becomes an excess and it's not as valuable, you just smelt it and it's just metal.
You're not gonna ask for more puppies.
No, what the fuck?
Because definitely somebody be like, oh, I just want more puppies.
No, well, I'm just thinking like realistically, you start with one puppy, then you can
two puppies.
It's kind of like what's something that logistically is like you're okay with having too much.
This guy has a big ass brain, bro.
Nah, I mean, it's just, I just thought about it. I was like,
I actually put some IQ points towards this.
What about you? What would you say?
I don't have an answer. I think about everything and I'm just like, I don't even want this wish. Because it's just like it. But if
I wouldn't, no, because like if you think about the gold, it's like, or you could even say silver, right? It's because at least when you're rich enough, just smelt everything down.
If I had to think of, like, I was thinking about dumb stuff like I want to be able to jump, right? But then my like
jump 1 inch,
right? And then like, but now I'm like jumping off the planet. Exactly. You'd be like, oh, I want more strength.
You die when you jump.
It sucks. Like anything is like, I'm thinking of like things like that, like more speed. Okay, then I get to a point I'm too fast. I'm just like, I'm just running past everything.
It's like a one monitor. It's like, but then it's like two. You see, you can't like you can smelt down a monitor, but the value is not this like really that good.
You see, you thought about the finances. I thought about the dumb stuff. If I had to pick
a burger,
you know what? I'm actually kind of hungry right now.
I mean, actually, the more holistic thing is if you do a burger, you could solve world hunger.
You could serve world hunger, yeah, 100%. But then you'd have to deal with all the burgers.
World obesity.
World obesity. Now you're gonna deal with world obesity. Now there's a real thing we gotta work on. America spread to the other countries.
Oh shit!
I mean, that's all the questions I got for you, Ethan.
That was fun. I didn't want. Are you like googling this? Like,
oh, these are. So I'm a member of Ask Reddit, and I've been living in the Ask Reddit forum for a while now because I enjoy the questions that people will be bringing up. There's also another one called "Am I an Asshole?" for this.
Oh yeah.
And that's a great one. But yeah, these people just have like really great questions because I was thinking about like making YouTube videos on the questions and calling people up and being like, hey, what would you do? Like, what would be your thing? Like this one was great. Like without saying the name of a movie, what is a movie quote most people would know? First one that comes to your head.
Wait.
Without saying the name of the movie.
Oh yeah.
What is a movie quote most people would know?
Most people would know?
Most people would know.
I have the high ground.
This guy's a fucking nerd.
I'm a big Star Wars
I'd
fan.
have been like, hasta la vista, baby. Okay, so wait, you're a big Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
So which movies? What's your,
Oh
what's your
my
ranking?
God.
What's your ranking? What's your ranking?
Oh, we only have
Let's
14
do
minutes.
it.
We're gonna be
That's
14
perfect.
hours, bro.
We're running in 14.
Okay. Movie order. Man, I don't want to say this because everyone's gonna analyze my fucking.
Please do it. Let's do it.
If I had to do it, okay.
Come on.
If
You know
a lot of people are gonna hate me,
Say it.
but
Say it.
I don't think
Say it.
that the original trilogy is the best
Yes!
trilogy.
Yes! He said it! This shit is ass!
I wouldn't say it's ass, right? I think it did a great job of setting something up, especially for the time frame and what it is. But like when I think about everything holistically, I don't think that is the worst. I don't think that's the best one. If anything, if I take everything, actually no, maybe everything, I would say it's my least favorite was the newest trilogy.
Yep.
Then it would be the original. Oh, sorry. I'll start from the best. What I think was the best.
Yes, I know what it is. Say it. Say it. Trust your feelings. You know it to be true. Do it.
Prequel trilogy is number one.
Which one's the number one movie? Do it.
The Revenge of the Sith.
That's what I'm talking about.
Isn't that the best one?
That's the best one.
Yeah.
Dude, lightsaber porn, let's go,
Like,
baby.
not even that. It's just like you get to see it happen. You get to see Anakin Skywalker turn into fucking Darth Vader.
This guy's got opinions.
Um,
You get to see actual lightsaber fights. There's actually Jedi in this movie.
and like I just think there's something about knowing, like you knew what was gonna happen. That's why I like the prequel so much. Like
Yeah.
you knew what was gonna happen, but seeing it all happen like in front of you, to me was just like
The villain's journey, not the hero's journey.
yeah, exactly. I mean, and there's like so much in between. I mean, obviously the prequels, I hated Jar Jar Binks. Don't get me wrong. Like I
didn't mind him.
It was annoying. I thought it was annoying as fuck. But then not to the point where the actor was getting like death threats and shit. And then also the kid actor got like death threats also.
Really?
Yeah.
People are weird.
He
man.
like became mental because of it.
Oh god.
Yeah, that's all another story. I mean, if I had to rank it, I would for the prequel trilogy is number one. Second one would probably be the original trilogy. Then the newest one I didn't really like at all.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that was just no one talks. That
Newest one, like you can definitely tell like another company took over, i.e. Disney, and like did something with it. They tried to, commercialize it, tried to politicize it. I felt like a little bit. They pushed a lot of things in your face that I felt like didn't really need to be pushed.
Yeah, I mean that last movie was so like whatever, and it's like it's funny because they talked about. I follow a couple like Star Wars YouTube channels.
Yeah.
Like random videos like Fandom Menace and
what's the guy's name? The guy that made the Darth Vader, the Apprentice. What's his name?
I have no idea. This is like I forget these guys' names all the time.
Yeah.
But they talked about how now you know how Justice League is getting like its own cut, like Snyder cut.
Yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah. Oh, how Star Wars is getting
a
its own?
JJ cut,
Yeah.
which is like 4 hours long because it was
is it?
the original length of the movie was supposed to be 4 hours. But
In one film.
one
Or
film,
split-
4
one?
hours, 4 hours, and Kathleen Kennedy was the head of the studio.
Yeah.
She was like, hell no, and she ended up having them cut all the things that are like nostalgic Star Wars things and from the movie.
Yeah.
So like it's so interesting because with this new trilogy they've alienated the fans of like from originally.
Yep.
And in pursuit of like we're trying to get these new fans. We're like Star Wars is all nostalgia.
Yeah.
That's like what Star Wars is entirely built upon. It's built upon nostalgia.
I'm wondering how much of it is also like why I like the prequel so much is because like that's like the childhood era for me, right? That's when we grew up compared to like the original trilogy. Like I think it did it. Like I like it. I definitely like it like story wise more than the last trilogy that just happened. I don't know. Last trilogy is just it felt like so much was like thrown in my face. It didn't feel like like Star Wars, like Snoke to like just the Force ghost and stuff like that, and like what happened. And
it was just not
Palpatine and like.
I mean, first of all, Palpatine's the best part of these movies to begin with.
Like, I mean, I just think it should have been just handled differently. Like, why do the whole Snoke thing? If
he's not,
if he's like, yeah, and they didn't even like subtly do things like they didn't even explain, or sometimes you don't have to explain, but it's just for a fact because there's different directors that was not part of the original plan.
No, of course not.
Yeah,
And
and that's what pisses me off is that like the only reason why I like the last trilogy is because no matter what you say about Star Wars story wise, the cinematics.
Oh yeah,
is just
yeah.
amazing.
You're talking about the
effects. Just no, even this one.
Oh, the new one. Okay.
Yeah, like the effects, the cinematics. Like I appreciate all the camera work, all the effects, and it looks cool.
I fell asleep in that goddamn movie.
Yeah, but it's just like the story and the acting, like what they're trying to push on you is, I don't know. That was.
It is what it is.
I know there's a lot of people that will that definitely say prequels.
Oh
is like
yeah,
the worst.
dude. There's like probably gonna be like a group of friends will be like, how could you ever say that on
No,
video?
actually, I have a group of friends that think the prequels.
Other great thinkers, other like-minded individuals,
yeah.
kindred spirits who know the value. I mean, we got so many good things out of the prequels. The Clone Wars show.
Oh,
Rebel Wars.
Yeah, I think maybe that's why. Also, there's so much that developed like there's so much to be uncovered between the Clone Wars and like even after the Clone Wars from the Galactic Empire being brought up. And I also want to took a look into some of the books from the Galactic Empire to the First Order, how that all happened. That's why I like the Star Wars Battlefront 2 a lot, and also
good.
Was it Last Order?
The Last Order, or the Fallen Order.
The Fallen Order, because it kind of like showed you a little bit more of what's going on between the fall of the Empire and the First Order and shit. So like the Inquisitors, like and they're coming out with all this Disney content. So I don't know, that's my take on it, but it is a hot take.
No, I think it's the only take that really matters.
It's
like I think it goes Revenge of the Sith, Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
Then it can go.
Honestly, I haven't had enough time to like break down which movies, but you're saying, all right,
Revenge of the Sith. We'll just do top 3.
Okay.
Revenge of the Sith, Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
A New Hope.
Okay.
Which would be like, and then after that, Clone Wars, and then Return of the Jedi, Phantom Menace, and then the other 3 don't matter.
Yeah.
The other 3 don't matter.
I would have to kind of like really think about like movie wise how I'd want it. But I think my favorite is actually Revenge of the Sith.
Bro, it's the best.
It's
movie.
Because like you see
it's the best
everything
movie, bro.
unfold.
You see this man body kids, bro.
Yeah.
The dilemma this guy had, man. He was being torn apart the entire movie, left and right. It was a way more compelling story than I am your father.
I kind of wish like also with like the newest trilogy they didn't even explain like Darth Plagueis or like anything.
No, they weren't gonna do any of that. It was such a mishandled Mickey Mouse production. But hopefully they fix it. It looked nice, looked great. Nice. I fell asleep for half of it, but like literally right when.
What was your least favorite of the new trilogy? Which movie?
All 3 are equally hated. Are all equally hated. I fell asleep with the first one. I didn't even watch the second one. Saw the third one.
The second one, I like the.
Wow, you're in a special group of people if you think that.
No, I didn't like the movie, but I think the second one, my favorite out of that. And some people, I don't know if they didn't like it, but I just like the throne room scene where Kylo Ren and Rey teamed up to just kill Snoke and the guard. That's the only part I liked about it.
Now, like the third one, we were watching it, and right when it got to the fight scene with Kylo Ren and Rey on like the broken, I guess.
Oh, the Star Destroyer.
Yeah. Right when we got to that scene, they started fighting.
Or the Death Star.
All I remember is like literally them clashing lightsabers, and I was like, and I woke back up and it's Ben Solo like doing his freaking weird mind jutsu, getting the freaking lightsaber out of his ass. Like, oh, what's up, bro? And I was like, what the hell did I miss? Where am I?
I also that link that's the link between them.
So
that they introduced a lot of
love will find a way.
Like the one thing I think they did wrong was they introduced a lot of
new things on the last minute
that was never prefaced beforehand, or like you can't just like
they did it.
Yeah, you can't just introduce I can heal you. Like, I don't know, man. It's like, oh, why didn't no one heal Qui-Gon Jinn? Why didn't no one, like?
No, it's because you had to let him go, bro. Had to let him go, man. He was too good. Qui-Gon Jinn was too elite. Couldn't have him in the story for too long.
Qui-Gon Jinn and then Cypher Dyas, man.
This man went Star Wars for the quote. Yeah. I respect it. I
love Star Wars. Like in my apartment, I have like so much Star Wars stuff.
Dude, just move it. Make your entire house a Star Wars. Little starship, little Star Destroyer.
Oh, that'd be sick. All right, I'm gonna cut it here.
Go ahead. This is a good time.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. This is episode 5 of What's New with You. Thank you so much, Gabe.
Of course.
It's fun.
Show is whack. It's a bad host.
All right, peace.